In this video, we'll give you a brief tour of the Phasing and Timing Dialog in SIDRA Intersection 7. Let's start the program. From the Add New Site group, click Signals and select the @grade intersection site to use as an example in this tutorial. Click the Layout command to view the layout picture first. Now, click Phasing and Timing under Site Input to open the dialog. The specifications given in this dialog will apply to timing analysis of individual signalized intersection sites as well as sites used in network analysis, except those assigned to common control groups. The Phasing and Timing dialog contains multiple tabs. The dialog opens with the Sequence Editor tab in view. Let's first examine the Sequences tab. In this tab, you can specify the signal analysis method and several sequences. For a detailed description of the signal analysis methods used in SIDRA Intersection 7, please refer to the user guide. You can add, clone, delete sequences, and change their order using the command buttons given above the Sequences table. The newly added @grade intersection site includes several sequences by default. The selected sequence will be referred to as the current sequence for timing analysis. You can edit the sequence name as you wish. Each sequence consists of a number of phases which can be edited in the Sequence Editor tab. The Sequence Editor tab consists of the Phase Selector and Phase Editor groups. It is used in defining phases by specifying the origin to destination (OD) movements by movement class and the pedestrian movements that run in each phase. Dialog tips can be viewed by clicking the Dialog Tips link or by bringing the mouse cursor over each phase under the Phase Selector. There is also additional blue help text as shown in this dialog. The selected phase box is shown in red. Click the Phase C box to select. The image for the selected Phase C will be displayed in the Phase Editor. You can use the left and right arrow keys for phase selection. Bring the mouse cursor over the movement symbols for the description of the color code. By clicking a movement symbol, you can specify a movement as running or not running in a phase. In phase B2 in our example, click the left turn arrow on the east approach to stop the movement. Then click the pedestrian symbol on the south approach to allow the movement in this phase. You can add a new phase, clone, delete, or change the order of the selected phase using the command buttons given under the Phase Selector. The Phase and Sequence Data tab includes the Phase Data table and the Detection Data group. Data given in this tab are sequence-specific. Phase and sequence data are not specified by movement class. If the Variable Phase checkbox is checked for one or more phases, the sequence will be treated as a variable phase sequence. The program will analyze all possible phase sequences with variable phases included and not included, and will choose a representative sequence corresponding to the demand volumes. The reference phase is used for signal coordination purposes. A reference phase cannot be a variable phase. Phase time is the displayed green time plus intergreen time. Therefore, it includes the yellow time and all red time specified for the phase. The phase time specified for a given sequence will be used only if the cycle time option selected in the Timing Options tab is user-given phase times. User-given phase times are not allowed for a variable phase sequence. Phase frequency is the percentage of signal cycles when the phase is called. It has the program and input options. When input option is selected, the default value of 100% means the phase is called every signal cycle. The phase frequency values specified as input or calculated by the program will override any user-specified pedestrian and phase actuation values. To specify dummy movements in a phase, check the Dummy Movement Exists checkbox. Minimum green time and maximum green time data fields for the dummy movement will then be accessible, otherwise they are blocked. The effective detection zone length parameter is the effective length of the detection zone on a signalized intersection approach where a vehicle can be detected by the signal controller with use of in-pavement loops or other technology. If the signal analysis method selected in the Sequences tab is actuated, then the Actuated Signal Data Group will appear in this tab. For driving on the right side of the road, major movements are the through and right turn movements, and minor movements are the arrow-controlled left turn movements. The Timing Options tab includes the Cycle Time option and Green Split option groups. Data specified here apply to the sequence selected in the Sequences tab. Click the radio button to select the Cycle Time option to use. When the user-given phase times option is selected, phase times given in the Phase and Sequences Data tab will be checked by the program for non-zero values. Let's keep the Practical Cycle Time option in this example. The green split priority is checked by default. When it is checked, the program allocates high priority for green splits to coordinated movements and movements starting with a reference phase. It is not applicable when the user-given phase times option is selected. The Advanced tab includes the undetected movement and phase transition settings, which can be used for vehicle and pedestrian movements where required. These are sequence-specific settings. Use the radio buttons to select a movement class and the checkboxes in the Movement Data section to specify undetected movement and phase transition. This has been an overview of the Phasing and Timing Dialog in SIDRA Intersection 7. Please refer to the user guide, the glossary, the help system, and the other tutorials in the series to learn more about SIDRA Intersection 7.